Welcome to Moonlight Madness, and this is a reading for the star sign of Gemini, Sun, Moon and Rising for November 2021. The decks I'm using today are the Fairy Tarot deck by Doreen, the Wisdom of the Oracle deck by Colette-Baron-Reed, the Enchanted map by Colette-Baron-Reed. Okay, so the first card I pulled was the Ace of Spring. This is a good card to pull because it talks about a rebirth of a friendship, relationship, time to take action, be fearless. It talks about wand energy or fire energy. An amazing career opportunity may be coming your way that you have yet to find out about. And being a wand card, that can mean it comes in the summertime, so it's on its way. Maybe some good news in regards to a new job, which hopefully you get that. But you probably instinctively knew it was coming because you've got this High Priestess card, which is knowing something that is hidden from view. So you might not have officially got it on paper yet, but you intuitively can sense that it's coming your way by a vision that you might have or a nighttime vision. I sometimes get nighttime astral movement where I find out what I need to find out when I'm asleep. So it's in my unconscious that I find it. And other times I find it in the daytime where I can just see like a daydream. I used to daydream as a kid, and I'd imagine pictures and things outside the window because I was so bored in class. So that's what that talks about. Reflection, listening to a higher power, also listening to this. There's also, good and evil around you. Try to listen to the good. Feed the good, don't feed the wolf. Feed the good wolf, not the bad wolf. And concentrate on good meditation. So meditation through walking, singing, writing, drawing, doing tarot cards, reading, listening to music, watching a movie. You need to get out of that headspace if you're worried about extenuating circumstances or world events. It's telling you to take a break from it. Even if you're online doing these readings, sometimes it can be a little bit too much for you to get the messages you need to get, or maybe too many messages are coming through at once because it's from the World Wide Web. So you might be picking up stuff from all over the place because you're online, and it might be overwhelming for you. So that stops the anxiety. Then now, out of the recent past, it says indecision is holding you back. Make the choice that's best for you rather than trying to please others. Feeling trapped between intellectual and emotional. So you may have done jobs in the past that people thought were good for you or be a good fit, but in fact it was what they wanted for you, not what you wanted for you. You have to go with your heart, not your head. You'll find that out later on. And as we're kids, we kind of expect our parents to have all the answers for us, but it's not their decision to make. They can suggest, sure, but you have to be actually passionate about it in order to do well at it. That's what I found. Okay, so the King of Autumn. And when I did makeup, my father said to me, he took me to a pub. I can remember I was in Brisbane, and he was my age now, 46, 47. And he said to me, what is it that you love? And I said, I don't know. I just don't know. I was so lost. And he had a girlfriend that did makeup on people's faces, makeup artist, and she did bar work at night time. And that helped pave her way through beauty college. And I was fascinated by that. And I always loved to draw. And so he thought that would be a good fit for me. And he was absolutely right. I've done makeup for 20 years. So he could see something that no one else could see, or matched me to a job that I didn't even know I liked or wanted to do. So it's funny, huh? These things happen, that someone who's a parent that's not with you every day can have a cherry pick a viewpoint and see what you need to do because they're not with you every day. Whereas if you're with someone that sees you every day, they might miss certain cues, certain signs because they see you every day, they expect to see you every day, so they assume they know what you need. And sometimes it's the parent that's not with them 24/7, the separated parent, that may see things that you don't see in them because you see them every day. You might miss things, you might miss cues. And in the past, you've got a King of Autumn, which is to do with Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And it says, be assertive when it comes to what you know is right, everything going your way. a good person or a company to work for. So maybe in the past you worked for a company that was very structured and, you knew what was expected of you and what you needed to do. It was very abundant because all the grapes that are up there. So it says that it was a wealthy company that you worked for. So there was always enough materials to go around and enough work to go around. And it also talks about a person in your past that's male or female, could be either, and they're go-getters, they're hard workers, they're on the go, they don't stop, they're very, very busy individuals. They give time to their children equally, but they also give time to their many varied interests, whether that be music, writing, creating, things like that. It could be DJing. And so then we've got being Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo energy. They tend to love the finer things in life and music and all the senses where they can experience, like from taste, touch, smell and hearing. That's the draw card for these people. If you want to get on their in their good side, or if you want to be friends with them, you need to kind of have the same interests, and that music might be the way you communicate. Or you might hear songs on the radio that remind you of them, and it's like that's how the messages get through. Like, I was on the bus the other day and I was going to see my mum. We haven't seen each other for a while, COVID and different things going on in the family unit. And I heard this song by Xanadu by Olivia Newton-John, and it was called We Have to Believe in Magic. And that's one of my favourite songs. And I always did believe in magic. I was that little girl that believed in unicorns and magical things and wishes and spells and fairies, which is why I'm attracted to the fairy deck. Because I believe there is such things that we don't always see or perceive on the five senses, but we may see it on a sixth sense level. We might see these images or visions on the esoteric level, which gifted people are. Gifted people, it's passed down from generation to generation. The idea of having just one person who's psychic is stupid. Everyone has a psychic ability. It's how willing and open you are to believe in it that you can see it. I think the guy's name was John Casey, who talked about elemental beings. It was a book I read, and he described seeing colours and auras and fairies and things that people couldn't see because he could see more things than most people could see. But that doesn't mean that you have to poo-poo him, because he was actually a famous science alchemist. He was a university kind of lecturer, so he wrote books based on scientific facts and what he saw, and he researched it. And there was books published, I've read them up at the university, talking about astral travel. He was in that group of people that understood that there is more than meets the eye. There is an astral body. There is, they call it a phantom, that leaves our body every night and goes wandering, and no one can explain the vivid dreams that we have. You need to listen to those. If they're so vivid and so strong and they move you and they shake you and you wake up in a state the next day, that's a definite message they're trying to get through to you from the other side. So don't ignore those hunches or those this bad feeling or bad vibe. Act on them. You may have Pisces in your chart, and see how he's hanging upside down, like in the legend of Odin, who was hung upside down, and then he drew all the runes, which represented the runes that was a language for, I think, Scandinavian folklore, and it represented different energies, just like the tarot cards. It became a deck of runes. And so it's saying maybe you've had to recently look at people from their perspective. They looked at life the way they looked at life, and you looked at life in a different way altogether. You had a different belief system, and maybe that's why you couldn't get along, maybe in a relationship or in a work environment. It's saying be like the Pisces energy, be yin and yang. You can be male and female in a female body or in a male body. It's just change your perspective. You're unique. You may be very different to most people, and some people you'll gel with straight away, and other people you just won't. And it's because of these little quirks, these idiosyncrasies that are different. People label them as strange, but if you can just be you, and people just have to get on with it and accept that you're who you are, and if you're comfortable with that, then you'll get along a lot better, because you're not trying to hide who you are. I hid who I was for a very long time, and now I'm just who I am. I'm 100% myself. I don't see the point in wasting people's time by wearing a mask. If I'm happy, I'm happy. If I'm sad, I'm sad. I can't be happy all the time. I can't be 100% on all the time. We have our good and bad days. Shouldn't be afraid to show who you are. If you're quiet, it's because you're thinking about stuff. You've got things on your mind. got worries like everyone else. We can't be happy all the time. That's just not a human being. So then we've got the Three of Cups. This is talking about friendship. Maybe you've got 3 people that are like friends to you, or you've got a group of people that you hang out with. It can also talk about weddings, graduations or births, engagement parties, housewarming parties. So that's that for some Geminis. Or a birthday party. Protect the fruits of your labours. Prepare for possible challenges that lie ahead. You may have someone around you who's an environmentalist, who could be, very conscious about how our carbon footprint lies on the earth, how we, the recycling, protecting our oceans, our fisheries, our food sources, concerned about the world environment. Those sorts of people, those are the advocates, the indigo children that stand up for the rights of animals and nature. Environmentalists are someone we need right now because what's going on with global warming and the COVID virus. We're going to try and have to find out new ways to keep our waterways fresh, to have food supplies and food sources, because we just don't have enough room. We don't have enough supply. So we're becoming the food chain now. Whereas before we were the top of the food chain, now we're just like the food chain, because not only are humans getting sick from COVID, but pets are getting sick from COVID. So it's like the foot and mouth disease. It's like the human virus that was over in Ebola. It's kind of evolved from even that. No one's immune to it. That's the scary part. 9 of autumn is reward yourself for all your hard work. You might want to work for yourself, be self-employed, or just like your alone time. Yeah, we all need to recharge. No one's on all the time. You've got to, go out into the world, and that's hard enough, trying to deal with signing in and signing out and clicking on and putting a mask on and lining up, and it's all very frustrating. I just find it all too much sometimes. I'd rather just go down once and then get in and get out, so I don't have to deal with all that. Very hard. The world, so this is the world environment that everyone's worried about. We're in a 21 cycle. 2021, I keep seeing the number 21 is 2 and 2 is 4, it's a 5 cycle. And 5 talks about building businesses, building companies, the 5 pyramid scheme. You might be part of the Fortune 500 scheme, where you build up like a pyramid system of someone is a salesperson, and then they report to their immediate salesperson, and so on, and whoever benefits from that month's sales will help the next month's sales, and so that helps them get to their gold or diamond, or they get to a certain level of sales. I think it's called Amway. My father used to be part of it, and he did that while he was looking for work. It gave him something to do, it gave him a job he could do, and it actually helped with managerial and leadership qualities. So you might do some sort of job where you're selling paperwork, or selling like Avon or Body Shop, stuff like that. So it says here, you're in a brilliant success, the freedom to go in any direction, a journey that is now complete. You may have come out of a huge cycle, a really hard cycle, and now you're cycling out to a newer cycle, which would be good. Because the 10 is the Wheel of Fortune. The world is times 2. So you may have had 2 years or 10 years of a journey, a really big journey that you had to work through. Maybe some bad karma that was dealt you when you were a child, like the book The Cursed Child. That's what it feels like for me. I've had a 5-year cycle. So I'm hoping this next year, 2022, is going to be a better year. That's a 4 number. Death and rebirth. There's a lot of death and rebirth. Time to go. Okay. Your job is done. You've come to the conclusion. This is the end. That's what the World card's about. Endings and completions. These cards don't have a lot to say today. They usually jump out. Oh, there we go. 2. Not for you. Something or someone is not for you. no matter how much they try to force it. And I'm getting some of you who may be a Gemini moon are trying to force a situation or a relationship that is not for you. Or it may have been an ending of a relationship and you're trying to hold on to something that's not there anymore. It's gone. The initial attractions were gone from both parties and it's just going to hurt both of you if you stay in it out of loyalty or out of being afraid of being alone. Sometimes it's best to be alone. Storm fields. Again, we've got the storm. I got that in the last reading. You have to excuse my stomach, it's been playing up. Confirmation. There's definitely a storm brewing. Whether it be a legal storm or just a storm, emotional storm. You may have to just deal with it. Or lock yourself away and don't go anywhere near it. Do your protection spells. Transformation. That's a nice card. And I saw a butterfly earlier lying on the ground and I thought, life is so short and so precious. You should live every day as if it's your last day on this planet because we don't know how long we've got. And that's the point of COVID, I think, is to make people realise and appreciate that we've only got one life. It's not promised. Tomorrow's not even promised. I buy food every day to last me for the next day or so because I may not wake up tomorrow. You just don't know. Everyone's time is borrowed. 45. We're on borrowed time. That's what I'm getting. Endless endings, completion, walking away from something because there is nothing else to learn or experience. You are at the end of one journey and not yet begun the next. This is the moment to bless your experience this way far. As Pooh Bear says in Tigger and Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, he says, it's time to go on an adventure. Take stock of what you've learned. It's time to move on to new experiences and a new way of being. There's nothing left for you to do, be, or experience in your present circumstances. Take this risk and move on, even if you need to be in transition for a time. Your destiny is calling you. It's over, or at least the form this relationship has taken is no longer of service to you or that person. This is a time of letting go, of knowing that the journey has come to its conclusion. It doesn't mean anything is lost. It could speak to a breakup, drifting apart, and the release and destruction. Remember the saying, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it never was. Endings are always a sign of new beginnings. If you want something deeper, then you must walk away. This is for Gemini. The message here is clear. The path you've been on with work, creative projects, and business has come to an end. You will not find the success you desire by continuing with what is now in front of you. This is an auspicious card because there is no choice that will benefit you other than risking stepping into the unknown. It is time to walk towards something new. This card also pertains to the more neutral concept of completion. You finished your task and can now rest assured the ending will open up to a powerful new avenue of opportunity. Even better than you can imagine. You have done all you can. Now trust that Spirit keeps the plan moving forward. Fortune requires you to conclude this chapter of your life. And remember that when you close one door, another opens. And then you've got Not For You, 6. It's like when you go and study a course and you get halfway through and you think, this is not what I signed up for. I did that when I did a course recently and it was not what I thought it was. And I went and did the work experience and I went, no, I don't want to be doing this sort of job. It seemed like I could help, but it was not in the right area. A clear knowing that something is being denied you. Rejection is God's protection. There are times when it appears that no matter how deeply you desire something, no matter how hard you work at something, the result you seek will always seem to elude you. It's if you don't really get to be in the game and you feel you're watching from the sidelines. The appearance of the card indicates you are not going to attain what you want right this minute, but that indeed your dreams for that exact thing will not be fulfilled. This is a time to radically accept that not everything is available to you when you want it. Take heart, for there are benevolent forces who desire the best for you and have a much clearer idea of what is for your highest good. So the rejection is God's protection. Something much better will make you truly happy is on its way. So the relationship that was obviously not for you had red flags from the beginning, but you chose to not take notice of them, or, you know, you tried to kind of go, oh, that's because they're having a bad day, or you just kind of went, oh, it's just they've got stuff going on. You made excuses for them, but no, you didn't. You refused to acknowledge that the relationship was wrong for you. It is not possible to make it be. Rejection is a sign that you're being protected by the divine. If you are the one who must reject another, remember that you do so for both your sakes. For every pot there is a lid, and this one may not be the best fit. Yeah. Know when to fold your cards. That's another thing I got. And then we've got Metamorphosis 25. You're in the process of deep and beautiful change. It's a really nice card. Butterflies earn their wings through great effort. The process of change is often painful, but it never loses. It is never without losses and sacrifices. If you are to transform from one form to another, a part of you needs to die. Letting go isn't easy, especially when you're used to thinking a certain way about your life and how you should live it. Just as a snake sheds its skin, we're in Scorpio season, a snake, it's like the caduceus in the medical field is the snake biting itself. So someone could be in the medical field. So shedding of skin is shedding of an old life. Butterfly can be born after the caterpillar dies. You're required to release old ideas and embrace the necessary change so you can live your best life. Perhaps you're being asked to let go of self-worth, a dream no longer serves you, a relationship that is draining, and despite your fear, you must accept that this is a transformational time for you. There will be some loss involved, but you'll love who you become. Stormfields 9. It's like what it looks like outside right now. This too shall pass. An uncomfortable chaos is surrounding you. Things that you've left unattended may be the cause of some conflict. Pent-up energy needs release, just as a storm in nature must break. For these events occur when the electricity between opposing forces stirs things up and creates temporary disorder. Not all storms are destructive, rather they serve nature by bringing rain to the ground and wind to the trees, enabling the seeds to be widely distributed and continuous to be ensured. Just remember that whatever is being stirred up inside you or between you and another will benefit you later. The sun will shine again and new growth will be observed. Don't be afraid to shake things up a little by doing something different. And that's what I have for you.